Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Hello everyone. Good morning, dear Sangha. From wherever you are in the world. And if you're new here, please feel especially welcome. I'm speaking from Geneva, where I live, where, as in many parts of Europe, at the beginning of July, temperatures are soaring again. So I'm thankful for the slightly cooler air this morning. And today's theme is precisely interconnectedness and air. But before I go further, can you please tell me in the chat if you can see me and hear me well? It would be helpful to know, since we do have some glitches these days. Could somebody please write in the chat if you hear me and see me well? All fine. Thank you, Anthea. All good. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Kate. Okay, so far this week we've explored Monday, interconnectedness and earth. Tuesday, interconnectedness and water. And today we will explore interconnectedness and air. Tomorrow, Thursday, it will be about interconnectedness and fire. And finally on Friday, we will explore interconnectedness and space. To connect with the elements within us, the earth within us, the water within us, air within us, is not only a beautiful idea. The invitation this week is to connect to the elements within us through the felt sense. This allows us to discover that we are nature. We are the elements. We are not separate from them. To connect to the elements through the felt sense allows us to connect with the qualities that are inherent with those elements. Solidity with earth, for example, fluidity with water, freedom with air. This allows a deep intelligence inherent to the elements to surface in us. To sense our interconnection with the elements is especially helpful, I find, when we are stressed, when we are preoccupied by something, and when we are very focused on solving problems. When we connect with the deep intelligence of the elements, we can open up to a broader vision, a new perspective on things, beyond our small self, which tends to cling, to control, to fixate, making everything a little too personal. So, for our theme today, air and interconnectedness, we can start by asking ourselves a question. What does air teach us? In Buddhism, the element of air, Vayu Dhatu, speaks of the wind, the movement of the breath, the movement of thoughts, and communication between oneself and the world. Mindfulness of breath is a central practice in Buddhism, which was taught by the Buddha in the Anapanasati Sutta to cultivate clarity of mind, calmness, and discernment. In Buddhism, thoughts are often compared to clouds passing through the sky. They are volatile, sometimes heavy and gray, sometimes light and vaporous. Air teaches us to move lightly, like the wind. Do you know Hermes in French, Hermes, the Greek god? Hermes has wings on his helmet and on his feet. Air teaches us freedom, reminding us that thoughts are not solid or fixed. They are volatile. They can move and dissolve. In meditation, this volatility of thoughts is totally okay. On the other hand, it is when thoughts start to harden and fixate, becoming beliefs, and that we cling to them, that problems arise. A few days ago, I already told you that I was on a meditation retreat with Martin Aylward at Moulin de Chave, his meditation center in France. And during meditations, I had thoughts, more or less fleeting thoughts, about what I was going to tell you about interconnectedness and the elements this week. I had ideas. Many things seemed clear to me, but not about air. With air, I felt stuck. What does air teach? I wondered. And in that moment, what became clear for me was that I had this fixed idea to not move in meditation. I was stuck there. To explain the context, my first meditation training was in Zen. And the Zen master was very strict about stillness during meditation. Don't move. I still remember him shouting in the meditation hall, don't move. So I was, the other day, during the retreat, I still am, formatted to not move in meditation. And in the retreat a few days ago, I was exactly locked in that place. Ever since I met Martin Aylward 10 years ago, I thought that I no longer cared about that rule to never move in meditation, especially when the pain is beyond what I can bear. And when I teach meditation, I always tell people who meditate with me that it is not a torture session and that it's okay to move. But as far as my own practice is concerned, I noticed that in the retreat, that the belief that I shouldn't move was still in my head, with all kinds of harsh judgments when I secretly allowed myself to move. Judgments that made me ashamed, like, you've been meditating for so long and your legs still hurt? Or worse, what will people think of me if I move? As if I believed that total stillness was some kind of proof of my worth. All this to say that thoughts and beliefs, as you all know, can lock us in. So many problems in life come from fixating on thoughts that don't even align with our values. So, Air teaches us that we are free to question our thoughts, free to air out our thoughts, and that we are free to move. Because then, all of a sudden, during the retreat, I think it was on the third day, I had this realization, this insight. You're free to move. It was a shock. Of course, I already knew that I could move. But the formulation, you are free to move, made me realize how much I was locked in the thought that I shouldn't move, despite the fact that I knew that this thought and belief was hurting me. And I realized that the cage was already open and that I was free to fly away, borrowing the wings of the Greek god Hermes. I wrote a poem about this. It is called Free to Move. You are free to move, she says. Free to move? What does that mean? I ask. The answer came, as sure as wind blowing through the marigold fields. Standing at the threshold, I worry. Is it safe to dissolve into thin air? And a gust of mercy blew me home. So yeah, Air teaches us that we are much freer than we think. Air teaches us to ventilate our thought and belief systems. Air teaches us that thoughts are just thoughts, and when they don't serve us, we can let them go. And we can learn to discern which thoughts serve us and which thoughts do not. This is discernment. Air teaches us discernment. So let's continue our exploration of interconnectedness and air with something very simple. A very short practice of conscious breathing. So find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Settle in. And connect to your breath. When you inhale, note inwardly, I breathe in. When you exhale, note, I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out. Sensing the breath as you breathe. And if thoughts arise, see the clouds of thoughts pass across the sky of your consciousness. See them without fixating on them. Come back to the breath. Note, I breathe in. Note, I breathe out. Seeing the space between thoughts. After this very short and simple practice, did you sense a slight inner shift in your inner sky? Perhaps a little more space or ease seeping in? And now with this openness, let's do a little inquiry. You can ask yourself, is there a thought that I'm holding on too tightly? How would it be to imagine releasing that thought like a cloud drifting away? Is there a story that weighs on my mind today? If so, could I let it float upward and beyond my concern? Okay, so let's exhale together. This very short breathing practice and inquiry can be done 3 minutes during breaks. A few more things about interconnectedness and air. Breathing is something we've been doing since the moment we were born. We breathe, and everyone else does too. Breath itself is a living symbol of interconnectedness through the air element. At this moment, our inhale is entering us. A few seconds later, our exhale is leaving us. And right away, we are in connection with air. Breathing is a bridge. Breathing is an exchange. I love to remember that when I breathe with the trees. The breath I breathe in, the oxygen that enters my lungs, my blood, my cells, is the oxygen released by trees. Trees that perhaps I have never seen. And the breath that I breathe out, carbon dioxide, is food for the trees and other living things. So to breathe is a shared act of life. I love to remember that when I breathe, I am participating in this collective act. Our breathing is never ours alone. This is what the late beloved Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh called interbeing. In Buddhist practice, in the Anapattani Sutta, I never pronounce it well, sorry. We are invited to sit with the breath. The indication is to follow the breath, not to control the breath. The breath is not only an anchor, but also a bridge. in meditation. This simple indication to follow the breath carries us a very long way into infinite mystery. Breath comes from the infinite, nourishes us, and returns to the infinite. Body breathing enters the infinite. So let's meditate together. Finding a comfortable position, moving your legs if you need to move. Sensing your body connected to earth through the touch of body and earth. When body touches the earth, earth touches the body. Feel the support of the earth that supports us all. Feel the stability of resting on earth. Feel your rootedness. And spine gently lifting towards the sky. As an expression of your nobility. Without losing your ground. And relax. Noticing the simple movement of breath coming and going. It comes and goes. With each inhale, note, I breathe in. With each exhale, note, I breathe out. In, out. In, sensing in, sensing out. With the in-breath, sensing, I receive. With the out-breath, sensing, I release. Allowing breath to move. Receiving breath, releasing breath. The receiving, the releasing is totally natural. We are not doing this. We are not controlling this. We are following. Body receiving breath. Allowing it to be our guide. Body releasing breath. Allowing it to be our guide. We rest. On the breath as it moves. If tensions arise, that's okay too. Simply resting, allowing, following, movement, carried by movement. If thoughts arise, and they will, see them as small gusts of wind passing through. Some are soft, some are distracting, some are ambitious, some have concerns. That's okay. See if you can just notice them, not following the thoughts, not resisting the thoughts. Simply letting them float across the sky like clouds. Air moving thoughts through our sky. And if you have some tensions in the body, which is my case right now, in my legs and in my knees, see if it's possible to allow the breath to come near, to come close, with the in-breath caressing the tension, with the out-breath releasing the tension. It's not like we are doing anything. It's more like a being here, a gentle rocking. Body breathing. The act of sharing our breath with the world, with the trees, with living beings. Our nature, breathing with nature. Body breathing you. The body of the world breathing you. And let's see in the last minutes of this meditation if it is possible to allow, to really allow the wings of breath carry us lightly in and out. Lightly into a land that we perhaps don't know. a very light touch of the infinite carrying us. And still, we are right here. And so we are coming to the end of this meditation. And so very, very gently start moving your fingers, your legs, stretch. And when it's the right time for you, open your eyes.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.